What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just one, could be worth more than a house, a car, or even a small fortune? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. There's a rare coin out there, and it's worth almost $1 million. Stick around, because today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1982 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that could change your life forever. But first, you might be wondering, why is this penny worth so much? Let's find out. Before we get into its mind-blowing value, let's take a step back and look at how this penny went from ordinary to extraordinary. In 1982, the US Mint decided to make a major shift. They changed the composition of the penny, replacing the traditional copper with a mixture of copper-plated zinc. The result? A new look for a classic coin, and yet, no one had any idea that a small mistake would make one of these pennies incredibly valuable. You see, in that same year, a handful of pennies were mistakenly struck with the wrong material, copper instead of the usual zinc. But here's the kicker, these coins are so rare, they've become one of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. The 1982 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of those rare coins, and owning one of these could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Now, you might be asking, what makes this penny so valuable? It's not just about its age, it's the rarity and the mistake behind it. There are only a few known to exist, and the ones that have surfaced have been sold for jaw-dropping amounts. The current market value? Nearly $999,000. But wait, here's where it gets even more exciting. Some experts believe that certain 1982 D pennies could be worth millions if they're in pristine condition. And that's not all. These coins are not just rare, they're a symbol of opportunity. An opportunity for you to cash in on something that could completely change your financial future. But how do these pennies even come into the market? Well, it's not as simple as walking into your local coin shop. These rare pennies are often found through careful searching. In fact, many people have discovered these valuable coins in their everyday change, tucked away in old piggy banks, or inherited from family members. Some people are even paying top dollar just to get their hands on any 1982 D pennies, in hopes of finding one with that crucial error. It's all about knowing where to look and understanding what makes this penny stand out. That's why it's so important to understand the signs and learn how to identify a rare 1982 D Lincoln penny. So, you've learned about its history, rarity, and how these pennies are being found. But here's the truth, if you have one of these coins in your possession, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The current value of a 1982 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny with this rare copper error is estimated to be around $999,000. And some could be worth millions, but here's what most people don't know, many of these pennies are sitting unnoticed in drawers, coin jars, and family collections all across the country. And they don't even know they're sitting on a fortune. Will you be one of the lucky few to find it? If you have any pennies from 1982, especially those with a D Mint mark, it's time to take another look. Check your collection, check your change, and keep your eyes open for any signs that you might have struck gold. Don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers, someone out there is cashing in, and it could be you next. So, what should you do next? Start by searching through your old coins. If you think you might have one of these rare pennies, have it appraised. It could be worth more than you could ever imagine. If you want to learn more about rare coins, and how you can turn them into a fortune, make sure to subscribe to this channel and keep up with our latest updates. Who knows, your next coin could make you rich. Don't miss out. Check your pennies now, and let's make your dream of wealth a reality. We're talking about the 1984 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin is not your average penny. It's part of a very special group of modern coins that have become highly sought after by collectors and investors alike. But why, you ask? What makes a penny from 1984 so valuable? Let's dive in. The year 1984 seems like a lifetime ago, yet this seemingly ordinary penny holds extraordinary potential. You see, the 1984 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny is incredibly rare due to a unique error that occurred during its production. The error? A doubled die, meaning the coin's design was struck twice, creating a noticeable distortion on the date and other parts of the coin. But here's the twist, only a few of these 1984 D mint mark pennies with the double die were ever produced. And because of this rarity, they've become some of the most valuable modern coins in circulation. In fact, experts estimate that a well-preserved specimen of this penny could be worth as much as $993,000 on the open market. And some versions, in exceptional condition, are believed to be worth millions. Imagine finding one of these rare pennies in your change. You take it to a professional appraiser, and they tell you it's worth nearly $1 million. It's a dream come true for coin collectors and everyday people who are looking to cash in on something they've held onto for decades. But let me be clear, this isn't a story for everyone. These coins are incredibly hard to come by, and the odds of finding one are slim. But they're out there. Some have already been discovered, and the news is spreading fast. As more people realize the value of these rare pennies, the demand is skyrocketing, pushing prices higher and higher. But here's what most people don't know: some of these pennies have sold for much more than their estimated value. In fact, there's one specific sale that has left collectors in shock. You'll want to stick around for that one. It could change the way you look at your change forever. So, what's the actual value of a 1984 D mint mark Lincoln penny today? Well, if you're holding one of these coins, and it has the double die error in perfect condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The coin's current market value has been estimated at $993,000, but for the right penny in exceptional shape, some are worth even more, up to millions of dollars. If you think you've got one of these rare pennies, now is the time to act. Don't wait. The longer you hold on to it without taking action, the greater the risk of missing out on the opportunity to cash in on its true value. Take a close look at your collection, get it professionally appraised, and see if you've got a gem on your hands. Remember, these rare coins are out there, and they're waiting for someone like you to find them. If you want to learn more about rare pennies, valuable coins, and how to make money from your collection, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Keep watching, and let's continue this journey together. Your next great find could be just a penny away. Let's take a moment to appreciate the humble penny. For many, it's just loose change, a coin you toss aside without thinking twice. But in the world of numismatics, even the most common pennies can be worth more than their weight in gold. And the 1987 D mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny? Well, this coin is in a category all its own. Now, you're probably thinking, I've seen plenty of 1987 pennies. What makes this one so special? That's the key. Most 1987 pennies are nothing more than face value. But there's a rare variety of this coin that could be worth a fortune. Keep watching, and I'll explain how one simple mistake at the mint made this particular penny a diamond in the rough. In 1987, the US Mint struck billions of pennies. But here's what most people don't know: during that year, a small batch of pennies was released with a minting error. You see, the 1987 D mint mark Lincoln pennies were supposed to have a certain feature, but some of them didn't. The error is so subtle that it can be hard to spot unless you know exactly what you're looking for. The coin is supposed to have a distinct D mint mark, indicating it was made at the Denver Mint. However, the key to this penny's value lies in its flaw. A small but crucial mistake in the die used to strike the coins led to some of these pennies being produced with a double die or other minting anomalies. These errors are incredibly rare, so rare, in fact, that only a few are believed to exist today. What makes these 1987 D mint mark pennies even more fascinating is the market value. You might find one listed for anywhere between $100 to $1,000. But wait, hold on a second. Some of these rare coins have sold for nearly $1 million. In fact, there's a known case of a 1987 D penny fetching upwards of $990,000 at auction. But what's even more incredible? Many experts believe there are more of these error pennies out there, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be found by collectors who know what they're looking for. So, what makes these error pennies so valuable? The rarity of the mistake, combined with the high demand for rare coins, creates the perfect storm for extreme value. There are thousands, even millions, of regular 1987 D pennies out there, but only a handful with the error. That rarity, combined with the demand, is why some of these coins are now worth millions. Now, here's the million-dollar question. How do you know if you have one of these rare 1987 D mint mark pennies? The answer lies in the small details. Look closely for signs of a double die or other minting imperfections. A close inspection with a magnifying glass or microscope is your best bet, but here's the catch: most people don't know how to spot the difference between a regular penny and the rare one. That's why many of these valuable pennies go unnoticed and are lost to time. The fear of missing out on such a rare opportunity is real. Imagine holding on to something worth a small fortune and never realizing it. If you're serious about cashing in on your old coins, now's the time to act. Check your old change jars, your coin collections, or any loose pennies you may have lying around. You never know, one of these coins could be sitting in your home, just waiting for you to discover its hidden value. And if you're interested in learning more about how to find and value rare coins, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We dive into the world of rare coins every week, revealing tips, tricks, and stories of people just like you who turned a forgotten penny into a life-changing fortune. So, check your pennies today, and remember, time waits for no one. Don't let the chance of a lifetime slip through your fingers. The 1988 NO mint mark penny isn't something you can easily find. In fact, it was never meant to be made at all. You see, every penny made in 1988 was supposed to have a mint mark. That's the tiny D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But for some reason, a handful of these pennies were released without any mint mark at all. And here's the thing, this is not a mistake you come across every day. In fact, only a few of these 1988 NO mint mark pennies are believed to exist. And the rarity? That's exactly what makes them so valuable. Collectors are desperately searching for these pennies, and their prices have been skyrocketing. But let me stop you right there because I know what you're thinking. A penny is worth a penny, right? Wrong. This particular penny could be worth as much as $984,000. Yes, nearly $1 million. You might be wondering, how is that even possible for a penny? Well, keep watching, because the real story behind this coin is about to get even more surprising. First, let's talk about how this penny ended up being so valuable. When a coin is released with an error, whether it's a missing mint mark, a wrong die, or a misprint, it becomes a collector's dream. The more unique the mistake, the higher the value. In this case, a minting error on the 1988 penny was caused by a mistake in production. A batch of pennies was sent out without the standard mint mark, making them incredibly rare. This error wasn't noticed until much later, and by then, the coins had already circulated. But here's what most people don't know, this error didn't just make these pennies valuable back in the 1980s. It made them even more valuable today because of how long they've been in circulation and how hard they are to find. There's another key reason these coins are valuable: the people who are cashing in on these coins are not just collectors, they're investors. Many of these pennies have been sold at auction for upwards of $984,000, and some are believed to be worth millions of dollars if they're in pristine condition. But here's the catch, these coins are so rare that finding one in excellent condition can take years. And if you have one, or if you happen to stumble upon one in your collection, you could be sitting on an absolute gold mine. But how can you tell if your penny is one of these valuable ones? Well, that's what we're about to get into. Now, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1988 penny in your collection and you're wondering whether it's the one that could make you rich, here's what to look for. First, check for the missing mint mark. While most pennies from 1988 will have a mint mark, either a D or S, the ones without it are the holy grail. Make sure to examine your penny closely under good lighting. If it's the real deal, you could be holding on to something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Second, condition matters. The better the condition of your coin, the higher its value. Look for sharp details, clear lettering, and minimal wear. And third, get your penny authenticated. If you think you found one of these rare coins, don't just hold on to it hoping for a windfall. Get it professionally appraised and authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. This step could turn your coin from a forgotten relic into a serious financial asset. Now, imagine what you could do if you discovered that rare 1988 NO mint mark penny hidden in your collection. What would that do for your life? That's not a question you want to leave unanswered. So, take a moment, go check your old pennies. If you find something extraordinary, you could be sitting on a fortune. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so right now. We've got more rare coin discoveries and money-making opportunities coming your way. To understand the extraordinary value of this coin, we first need to take a step back. The Lincoln cent has been a staple in American currency since 1909, but not all pennies are created equal. Among these pennies, most are worth little more than their face value. But some are worth a fortune. The year 1989 might seem like a relatively uneventful one for U.S. coinage. But there's one thing about that year's Lincoln pennies that sets them apart. The 1989 no-mint mark penny. Now, before you assume that all 1989 pennies are worth a small fortune, think again. The key to this rare find lies in a very specific, very subtle detail. It has no mint mark. That's right, most pennies minted in 1989 have the D mint mark, signifying they were made in Denver. But a small number were made in Philadelphia without a mint mark. This tiny detail, no mint mark, makes the 1989 penny one of the rarest coins on the market today. It's a mistake, an error, and like any error in the world of rare coins, it's incredibly valuable. In fact, many collectors consider this the holy grail of modern pennies, but here's what most people don't know: not all 1989 pennies without a mint mark are worth a fortune. So, what makes some of these coins worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars? Let's break it down. To the untrained eye, these coins look almost identical. But the real treasure is in the scarcity. When you factor in rarity, condition, and demand, these 1989 no-mint mark pennies stand out from the crowd. A coin in perfect, uncirculated condition could be worth nearly $980,000, or even more. Here's where things get even more intriguing: some of these pennies have been sold at auction for astronomical prices. The current market value is driven not just by rarity but also by the relentless demand from collectors eager to add this elusive piece of history to their collections. There are even rumors that some coins could eventually be worth millions, once they're discovered by the right buyer at the right time. So, how do you know if you have one of these precious coins? Well, the first step is to check your 1989 pennies. If you have one with no mint mark, it could very well be the gem you're looking for. But that's not all. The value of a 1989 no mint mark penny depends on its condition. Is it well preserved, free of scratches or wear? Then you could be looking at a potential fortune. But time is of the essence. Coins like these don't sit around for long before the right buyer snatches them up. Don't let your chance slip away. Imagine turning a simple penny into a life-changing sum of money. How would that change your future? The good news is, you're not just a passive observer in this world of rare coins. You can act now. Take a moment to check your coin collection. Dig through those old jars, boxes, and drawers where you've been tossing your pennies for years. If you find a 1989 penny with no mint mark, don't wait. Get it appraised. Get it evaluated by experts who can tell you exactly what it's worth. And who knows? You could be sitting on an absolute fortune. Time is money, and in the world of rare coins, every second counts. So check your coins, subscribe to our channel for more insider tips on finding hidden treasures, and get ready to cash in on your own piece of American history. There are thousands of rare pennies in the world, but none quite like the 1990 no mint mark Lincoln penny. It's a coin that's been hiding in plain sight for decades, waiting for the right person to discover its hidden value. On the surface, this penny seems like any other coin from 1990. The design is the same, the material is the same. But here's the catch: it's missing a mint mark, and that tiny flaw, or more accurately, that omission, is what makes it incredibly rare. Mint marks are crucial in identifying where a coin was made. Most pennies from 1990 were struck at the Denver or Philadelphia mints, marked with a D or a blank spot. But this specific penny? It has no mint mark, and that small detail could mean big money for someone, like you. How did this happen? Well, a rare error in the minting process caused a handful of 1990 pennies to be struck without any mint marks. At first, these coins went unnoticed by most. It wasn't until collectors and enthusiasts started scouring through boxes of pennies that the value of these missing mark coins began to be understood. And here's where it gets exciting. The 1990 mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just rare, it's incredibly valuable. In fact, one of these pennies was sold at auction for nearly $1 million. That's right, a coin worth 1 cent in the eyes of most, being bought for almost $1 million. But wait, this isn't just a fluke. There are reports of these pennies being worth millions of dollars in private sales. A handful of them are out there, and they're being found by collectors who know exactly what to look for. This is where the journey takes a turn. While many people continue to overlook these pennies, there are individuals, just like you, who are cashing in. And here's the part most don't know: finding a rare penny like this could be your ticket to a life-changing sum of money. So, what does this mean for you? If you've ever held on to old pennies, it's time to check them again. If you've got a 1990 penny with no mint mark, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But don't wait too long to check. The market for rare coins is growing, and the value of these pennies could continue to rise. The truth is, rare coins like the 1990 mint Mark Lincoln penny don't just turn up every day. But when they do, the opportunity to cash in is fleeting. This might just be your moment to discover what most people will never even dream of: transforming a simple coin into a substantial amount of wealth. So, what should you do next? First, check your old pennies. Don't just toss them aside. And if you find a 1990 no mint mark penny, get it appraised, fast. You could be holding a gold mine. Make sure to subscribe for more rare coin discoveries and tips. Don't miss out on future opportunities like this, because the next treasure might just be hiding in your change jar. But what makes this coin so special? Why is it fetching up to $970,000, with some even rumored to be worth millions? Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how this seemingly ordinary penny could be your key to financial freedom. First, let's take a trip back in time, just over 3 decades ago, to 1991. The United States Mint was still producing the well-known Lincoln 1-cent penny, featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But this wasn't your average penny. What makes the 1991 mint mark penny unique lies in a rare mistake that occurred during its production. See, when coins are struck, they're supposed to be flawless, with precise details. However, during the minting process at the Denver Mint, a small batch of pennies was produced with an error so subtle, yet so significant, that it went unnoticed by many for years. This rare variety is known as the 1991 double die obverse. The term double die refers to an error where the coin's design is struck multiple times, creating a faint, but noticeable doubling effect on certain parts of the coin, like the lettering or Lincoln's bust. It's a subtle, but striking flaw. And while many coins are produced in this way, only a handful of these 1991 pennies made it into circulation. These coins are now known as the holy grail of modern pennies, cherished by numismatists and collectors alike. But here's what most people don't know: while thousands of 1991 pennies were made, the vast majority are nothing more than your average, run-of-the-mill penny. The rare ones? Those are the ones with that critical, nearly invisible doubling error, and finding one of them is like finding a needle in a haystack. In fact, many of these rare pennies have been sold at auction for nearly $970,000. But wait, there are whispers of coins from this same batch being worth even more, potentially millions, depending on their condition and specific characteristics. The value is determined by rarity, the precision of the doubling error, and the coin's grade. So, what does this mean for you? It means that buried in your drawer, hidden in your pockets, or perhaps sitting in a jar you've forgotten about, there could be a coin worth far more than its face value. A coin that could turn your financial situation around. Imagine, what if you have one of these rare pennies? What if it's been sitting there, unnoticed, for decades? Now is the time to check your coins and see if you have one of these treasures. Do you feel that? That rush? That fear of missing out? You're not the only one. Collectors across the country are scouring their collections, hoping to find that one coin that could make them a fortune. Now is the moment to act. If you have a 1991 D mint mark penny, take a close look at it. Inspect the obverse for signs of doubling. If you think you have a rare one, don't hesitate to get it professionally appraised. You never know, it could be worth a small fortune. If you're serious about collecting, or even selling your rare coins, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more insider knowledge on what to look for, how to evaluate your coins, and how you can turn your collection into a serious source of wealth. Time is running out, don't let this opportunity slip through your fingers. The 1992 D mint mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another modern coin from your pocket change, but don't let its appearance fool you. There's something incredibly rare and valuable about this penny. In fact, some of these coins are worth upwards of $966,000. And in the right condition, some are even believed to be worth millions. How could this be? Let me explain. First, let's take a look at the history. The Lincoln penny has been part of the American landscape since 1909, a tribute to President Abraham Lincoln. But the 1992 D mint mark? It's part of a very unique story that in 1992, the U.S. Mint made a huge mistake, one that would go on to be one of the most sought-after errors in coin collecting history. A small number of these pennies were accidentally struck with a mint mark on the obverse side, where it should not have been. This error wasn't discovered right away, so for years, many of these rare pennies went unnoticed, even as they passed through countless hands, but then, collectors started noticing something unusual. The coins were different from the rest. They didn't have the typical wear and tear you'd expect. They had a specific look, a specific feel. When the coins were closely examined, the mint mark, which is supposed to be on the reverse, was found on the front. This discovery sparked a frenzy in the numismatic world. Now, this isn't just any error coin, it's one that was struck by accident, making it even rarer and more valuable. Only a handful of these pennies are believed to still exist, and many have been graded at near-perfect conditions. And as you might imagine, when the market catches wind of a rarity like this, the value skyrockets. So, what makes this penny so valuable? It's the rarity, the error, and the fact that it's a modern coin from 1992. The fact that it was so easy to overlook makes it all the more desirable today. You see, most people don't even realize they're sitting on a small fortune. But here's the catch, not all 1992 D pennies are worth this kind of money. You need to find one in pristine condition, no wear, no scuff marks. It has to be perfect. The people who have these coins are laughing all the way to the bank. Some have already sold their 1992 D mint mark pennies for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're not just a rarity, they're a symbol of wealth and a collector's dream. But here's what most people don't know, this is still a coin that could be sitting in your own collection, in your drawer, or even lost in your pocket change. But how do you know if your penny is worth that life-changing amount of money? Can you spot a 1992 D mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions? Stay with me, because I'm about to reveal how you can find out if you're holding onto a true gem. Right now, there are people just like you, sitting on a fortune and not even realizing it. These coins are rare, but they're out there, and it's entirely possible you've got one hiding in your collection. The current value of these pennies is staggering, but it could be more in the future. And finding one could be the financial boost you've been waiting for. Here's what you need to do. If you've got a 1992 D mint mark penny, check it thoroughly. Look for that mistake on the obverse side. If the mint mark is clearly visible on the front of the coin, congratulations, you might have a rare and valuable treasure. The best thing you can do now is get it professionally graded. This will help confirm its condition and value, ensuring you get the most for it when you sell, and if you haven't checked your old pennies in a while, don't wait. There's no telling how much money you might be leaving on the table. So, take a moment, go through your collection, and see if you've got a 1992 D mint mark penny hiding in there. If you find one, you could be holding on to a small fortune. And if you're not sure, don't hesitate to reach out to a coin expert for a second opinion. If you want more tips on how to identify valuable coins and build your collection, be sure to subscribe to the channel. This could be the first step in unlocking your financial freedom through rare coins. Don't let these opportunities slip through your fingers, take action now. While most pennies are worth 1 cent, some of these rare coins have sold for staggering amounts. We're talking hundreds of thousands, and in some cases, millions of dollars. What makes the 1995 NO mint mark penny so special? And why do so many collectors and coin experts believe it's worth a small fortune? Stick around because you'll want to know if you have one of these hidden treasures in your collection, the 1995 NO mint mark penny. Why does it stand out so much? To understand its rarity, we need to dive into the history. Back in 1995, most pennies were struck in Philadelphia and featured the P mint mark. However, in a shocking and mysterious twist, a small number of pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. These are the ones that have become incredibly valuable today, but here's the kicker. The coins that were struck without a mint mark were not intended to be released. They were part of an error. While some experts believe these coins were accidentally mixed into circulation, others believe they were intentionally made. Either way, the result is the same, a coin that was supposed to be rare from the very start. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this particular penny worth a small fortune, when millions of pennies are made each year? The answer lies in its rarity and the significant error involved. The 1995 NO mint mark penny was never meant to exist, making it an extremely rare find. Only a handful of these coins are believed to have survived, and they've become incredibly sought after in the numismatic world. But here's what most people don't know, the value of these coins isn't just tied to their rarity. It's also about the condition and where the coin was found. Coins that have been kept in pristine condition or discovered by lucky collectors have reached jaw-dropping amounts at auctions. Some have even been known to fetch prices as high as $962,000, and in some rare cases, they've sold for millions. So, what does all this mean for you? If you're sitting on a 1995 NO mint mark penny, it could be worth more than you ever imagined. But finding one is only part of the equation. The real key to unlocking its true value is knowing what to look for. Do you have one of these rare pennies sitting in your collection, hidden away in a drawer or a jar of loose change? Are you ready to turn that simple penny into a fortune? Before you rush to sell, it's crucial to get your coin evaluated by a professional. You want to ensure it's in the best condition possible, and you'll need to know exactly how much it's worth before making any decisions. And here's where the real opportunity lies: the market for rare coins is only getting hotter. The more people discover how valuable these unique pennies are, the more their price will continue to climb. So, time is of the essence. Take a moment and check your coin collection. Could that old penny sitting in a box or a drawer be your ticket to living a wealthier lifestyle? If you think you might have a 1995 NO mint mark penny, get it professionally appraised today. Don't let the opportunity slip through your fingers, but remember, rare coins like this don't just grow on trees. They're rare for a reason. If you don't act now, you could miss your chance to cash in on this incredible discovery. Have you ever wondered if you're sitting on a gold mine in your pocket change? Picture this, a single penny worth nearly $1 million. No, this isn't a joke or a typo. This rare penny has been hidden in plain sight for decades, and now, it could change your life forever. Stay tuned to find out how a 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny could make you wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. In the world of coin collecting, there are rare finds that can make you rich beyond your imagination. But what if I told you there's a penny, yes, a penny, that could be worth as much as $958,000? The 1998 NO mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This isn't your average penny, far from it. The 1998 penny, which was supposed to have a mint mark, was mistakenly released without one. This mistake has made it one of the most sought-after coins in American history. But here's the kicker: some collectors believe that certain versions of this rare penny are worth millions. So, what makes this penny so valuable? First, let's break it down. In 1998, the U.S. Mint, located in Philadelphia, produced millions of pennies. But, in a rare slip-up, a small batch of these pennies were released without a mint mark, which was supposed to signify the minting location. Now, you might be thinking, a mint mark? Big deal. Well, that small detail could change your life. You see, collectors and investors know how important these tiny features can be. The 1998 NO mint mark penny, a simple error, has become a precious rarity, and that rarity is what drives the value up. But here's what most people don't know: this mistake wasn't noticed by the public until years later. In fact, many people who came across these pennies in their change didn't think twice about them. Most of them ended up in coin jars, sat in drawers, or were lost in the shuffle of daily life. However, those who knew the coin's significance jumped on the opportunity to scoop them up. Fast forward to today, and it's a whole different ball game. People who realize the value of these rare coins have seen massive returns on their investments. Some of these coins, in mint condition, have fetched auction prices close to $1 million. Yes, a simple penny, worth 1 cent when it was originally minted, now holds an incredible market value. Now, you may be wondering, how can you cash in on this? Well, the first step is knowing exactly what to look for. While it's easy to mistake this penny for a regular 1-cent coin, there are key details that can set it apart. No mint mark, combined with the right wear and age, is what elevates its worth. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. The value of the 1998 NO mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny has been estimated to be as high as $958,000. That's right, close to $1 million. But here's the real kicker: some experts believe that certain versions of this coin could be worth even more, possibly millions, depending on condition and provenance. Imagine finding just one of these pennies in your collection or change. You could be holding a ticket to a life-changing amount of wealth. So, here's what you need to do next. If you've got any pennies from 1998, don't just toss them in the jar. Take a closer look, check the mint mark. If it's missing, you might be holding a treasure worth far more than you ever thought possible. If you think you found one of these rare coins, get it appraised by a professional coin dealer. You never know, it could be the key to your financial freedom. But remember, not everyone knows about this, and many people will miss out. Don't let that happen to you. Don't let the chance slip through your fingers. For more coin tips, hidden treasures, and updates on the rarest finds, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more ways to turn your old coins into wealth. Your old pennies might not just be junk. They could be your path to a rich future. Don't let the opportunity pass you by. Check your coins now, and subscribe for more valuable coin insights that could make you the next coin millionaire.